Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and this week is all about creating vegetarian meals in our Thermomix. Now, the Thermomix makes it so easy, whether it's a TM31, TM5, TM6, a thermo cooker, to be able to make amazing vegetarian food with confidence and ease. And you might just be making it because you don't have any meat in the house. It might be because you've got friends visiting. There's various reasons. But I hope you're feeling inspired this week as I show you these recipes that you'll take them and cook them and give them a try. So you can see this one today, it actually has chorizo. We don't typically eat chorizo. I'm going to leave that out. It's not something I would normally have in the house. And that, of course, will make it vegetarian. So let's come along today and I'll go through how to do this. So first things first is it says start cooking. It actually is referring to dust kim, which is a rectangular baking dish with flour and lined with baking paper. Now, I'm just going to use one of our rose gold from the mix shop. In the future, we actually have coming to the mix shop some beautiful cast iron cookware, which will be amazing for recipes like this, where they're those really heavy, solid bottoms, and they actually cook beautifully. They crisp it up nicely. It holds the heat, and it can be on an electric, it can be on a gas, it doesn't really matter. It cooks beautifully. But for today, just rose gold is what I'm going to use to cook this on, because I don't have the awesome cast iron cookware yet. So next thing it asks for is 360 grams of water, and it says to be slightly warm. I've actually taken mine quite warm out of the tap. You don't want it too hot. It kills the yeast if it's too hot. So not too hot, but if you can get it, like today it's quite cold here. I've been wearing a jumper all morning till right now because it is cold. Your yeast can't activate and bloom if it is cold, all right? So hence the reason it's saying that water that needs to be a little bit warm. So here is our yeast, 2 teaspoons. Remember to keep two things. Remember to keep your yeast in the fridge or freezer. It doesn't like changes of temperatures and getting sticky. The other thing is when you put it in, you might notice I'm sprinkling it around the blades. We don't want to lose a chunk of that onto that blade shaft. All right, let's click on next. Now, normally it would get you to warm up this water to 37 degrees. I made sure mine coming out of the tap was pretty close too. So I'm actually quite confident I can skip this over. If you've taken your filtered water out of your fridge, or maybe you're in Tassie and your tap water's cold, then you'll need to do that warming step. But for the sake of time, I'm going to skip that. I intentionally put slightly warmed water in. Now we've got strong white bread flour. Now this is called baker's flour here in Australia. This is a US recipe, no, UK, sorry. Hence the peculiar name on it. And it's got more protein. So you can actually, for this recipe, you could use plain flour, ordinary plain flour, not GF, guys who are GF, sorry, not for you this recipe. But just let me see if I've got enough in this container. Fingers crossed. Gonna fall a little short, that's okay, it'll be enough. You could use plain in this recipe because it's kind of a pizza dough style recipe where it's not going to get huge and fluffy like bread rolls or a loaf of bread. However, if you're making loaves of breads and bread rolls, you need the baker's flour. It needs to fluff all the way up. Otherwise, it just is going to be half height and you're going to be disappointed with the outcome. So you can buy it at somewhere like Costco in big 12 kilo bags. You can buy it in bulk. We buy an unbleached baker's flour from Honest to Goodness. You can buy it in 5 kilo bags from Woolworths and Coles on the bottom shelf. Okay, so there's lots of places you can get it. You can get it in small bags. It's not as economical in the small bags though. Lots of different ways you can get that. All right, so salt. You can't make it yourself though, okay? It's the way they refine it that actually makes it have the higher protein. So it's not like you can add something to it that'll make it turn into, it's not like self-raising flour where you can add to. So here we go, we're nearly done. So we're gonna make dough now. We're gonna bring this dough together. So if you're watching along and you don't have a Thermomix, when you've got a Thermomix, you don't need a bread maker because in this 2-minute knead time, it stretches your dough out and it comes out of the machine ready to rest, shape, and use. So I am going to turn this on. It's 2-minute knead time. You can see it's got the little wheat function. On a TM31, you've got a kneading button. On a TM5, it's in the gray section at the bottom. In our guided recipes, it just shows up. And I'll return in 2 minutes to turn this out onto a thermomat. If you don't have a thermomat, let's do an online demo and get you one reduced price. You and 2 friends online for 30 minutes will get you one of these. And it also comes, it's a pack of 2, so you get a smaller one for the oven as well. But I'll come back in 2 minutes. I'll show you how to get it out of the bowl. We're going to prove it, and then we're going to grate some cheese, and we're going to put this together. So I'll return shortly for the next step. So see you soon. Okay, it's finished the 2-minute knead time, and now it actually asks us to transfer it out to a bowl and leave it to double. Now, that's because the UK I don't think they have our amazing Thermomats. So I've dusted my mat, my Thermomat with flour, and now we use the little rosette on the bottom, and as we turn it, you will see the dough start to fall down. If I hold it this way, it doesn't stick to the sides, but I wanted you guys to see it. There it comes. Now this is going to prove for a little while. Now that leftover dough in there, you can spin it up to speed for a moment if you like to get it off. That'll get your fingers in there. Just be careful your blades are sharp when your machine first arrives, and get the excess off it. Okay, it's just a bit like blue tack is how I kind of relate it to, but this dough is done. Like, how cool is that? No kneading, no bread machine that takes ages to get this done. This will be ready to actually shape in about half an hour. It'll be oozing out of this Thermomat, ready to be made into something else, which we're going to make it into a big log. So I'll just put that back down there. We're going to wrap this up, and I'm just going to show you the other portion that I'm going to get ready now. So Thermomat, fold over, and just push the ends in like that. Now you'll know when this is ready to be used, because you'll notice it fills this up. This pillow kind of shape becomes quite pillow-like. It starts getting out to the corners, and you'll know, and if you overdo it, you'll see it starts oozing and unfolding out the corner. So I can just put that aside. Now later on in this recipe, I actually need to preheat your oven. We'll come back to that later. But it actually gets you to make 4 circles, of which you roll them up into individuals. I'm going to make one big one today. But what we also do need is, it says some mozzarella chunks. So normally sun-dried tomato, chorizo, and mozzarella, in it goes, chunks, ready to go. I want to grate mine today. So I'm going to put into my machine some mozzarella. Now I have cut them smaller than usual. I find mozzarella has an interesting texture to it. It's quite grippy in texture. So it actually therefore needs to be smaller so that it grates nicely. So I find a little bit smaller on that sizing, and we're going to go up to our grating speed, which is speed 8. It's only going to take 5 to 10 seconds. That's 5 seconds. Depends on your cheese. If your cheese has been to room temperature, it can take a wee bit longer to grate. But if you go too far, you'll end up with like a cream cheese. You've gone over the top. Check that out. Look at that. Ready to go. So that's my grated cheese for later. And by the way, let me just show you a little tip before I make a mess. This makes an awesome funnel. So we just put that on top like that. Now I can pour into the funnel. I didn't bring my spatula in, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I wonder if I've actually got too much for my container. So I'll just stop there. I'll take the rest out later off camera. Or I'll leave it in the bowl, one or the other. But that's how you can use your lid then as a funnel as well. So I will return in half an hour, 20 minutes, depends how long this takes to fill up this space, and I'll show you how we make this into the beautiful big log that it's going to become. So take care, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, welcome back. I have got my dough out of proving, and it is so soft and cloud-like, and this is really what you want it to be like, and that's the difference of proving. So now it's really pliable. Earlier, if I tried to stretch it or anything like that, it just would have contracted back. It just hasn't, it's like stressed. That's what somebody once said, it's like a teenager, a stressed teenager, all bound up. And it kind of is like that, whereas now you can see I'm stretching it beautifully and it's coming apart nicely. Now this is where I'm gonna leave the recipe as it does it its way, and I'm gonna do it my way, where I'm actually going to make this into a roll instead. So normally they make 4 bits into pockets, so into circles like pizza, put a topping in the middle, squeeze it together like a money bag, and flip it up into a loaf tin. I'm going to use my trusty rose gold pizza tray, which actually this month, the month of June 2020, you actually can get that as a gift with purchase when purchasing a TM6, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to make this into a big log circle kind of thing. It's a bit different than putting it in a loaf tray. So I'm just stretching this out. You can see me doing so. It's just beautiful texture. It's just so fluffy. And now I'm going to add some goodies to it. I am going to push, I just want to push the edging out a little bit. I'm going to kind of scroll it up. So on with the grated cheese, I did get the rest out of the bowl, and then this is mozzarella, so it should go super stretchy, which will be really nice. And I've got some more here. Oh, that's a chunk of dough that was left in the bowl. Just use however much cheese you like. And I mean, this is where you could go crazy. You could be doing sun-dried capsicum and olives and make some spinach in there and make it Mediterranean. Like, you could really do what you like with this. Obviously, we're following the theme of being vegetarian this week, so we're going to keep the meat away from it. But of course, if you didn't want to do that and you had meat, you could do that. Leftover roast or bits of bacon, whatever you want, really. That's the beauty of it, right? You can really make this whatever you want it to be. So I'm just putting sun-dried tomato out, and then we're going to roll this up. Just love that smell of sun-dried tomato and feta. So that'll do us. Now I have left a gap at the front with nothing on it, about 5 centimeters, because I want to roll this into it. I actually didn't put much on this side either because I find it bunches up. I could put some more. I'm also working really closely with the edge of my mat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start rolling it with our fingers, and we're going to bring it in and we're going to bring it really tight. So I'm bringing it really close and really tight. I'm intentionally tucking some of those bits of beautiful tomato into it and stretching it out as I go as needed as well. Now I'm going to just do a turn. I might grab another bit of tomato because I sucked that bit into it already. And the trick with making this nice and I guess nearly scroll-like really is tucking it as you go. So tucking it in under itself. If you let it go loose, you'll end up with it very loose. I'm sorry you can't see that end. I'm coming into this part here where you can see. And I'm just rolling it on itself. Because it has had that beautiful proof time, it is super pliable. So round we go, over and over. I'm just going to stretch out. You can't see, but the end's kind of sucked in. This end you can see. So I'm going to just pull it out so that it's square-ish. All right, round it goes. Now, I've intentionally, as I said, left that bit there so that I can finish it off nicely. So, I'm running out of capacity here. I'm about to roll into the beautiful slide board on the end. So, I'll just pull that off the table. See how it's hanging off the end? So, round we go. Tuck it over to finish. And now, look at that. It is so soft. I wish I could, like, explain how pillow-like soft that is. It's just amazing. All right, up we come with this. Now we're going to get it onto here, and it depends what you want to do with it shape-wise, and also I guess whether you're going to give it another prove or not as well. So you've actually got the chance here if you want to prove it further. I'm not going to. I'm going to do this with it. I'm going to grab my knife and give it a few little cuts on top. I'm not too worried about some of this here has the joint on top. Now, if you're worried about that, as you put it down, roll it over. It's really generous. It doesn't mind you playing with it like this because it's done that beautiful proof, and just twist the joint under if that bothers you. I'm not too fussed on it either way. So, what I was going to do though is I was just going to slice the top a little bit. So I was just going to put some indents in it. So as I go around, I'm just putting some little indents in. What will happen is as that grows in the oven, it'll give it a nice little opening there. So there you go. Now as that grows, it's going to probably end up double in size. I'm going to give mine, when I get off camera, a little spray of oil, put a little bit more cheese on top because we all love a little bit more cheese, and put it in the oven. Now it only cooks for, I think it's 15 minutes. Let me just check. Theirs will take, theirs is 15 to 20. Because theirs is in a loaf tray, it's a bit more dense. Theirs will take closer to 20. I reckon mine will take 15, probably 12 to 15 depending on your oven. But I can't wait to show you this final product as I made. And I guess that the other thing is, if you need a recipe to follow or something a bit closer to this part, go to the brunch bread. Okay, brunch bread on Cookie Doo is similar in their approach to finishing it like this. Okay, but really, there's so many things you could put inside this to make this as creative as you want. So I can't wait to show you the final product. Reach out if I can support you with anything regarding your Thermomix. If you want to get your hands on a TM6 model Thermomix and you live in Australia and you want it to come with the rose gold tray in the month of June 2022, please reach out. I'd love to support you to get a Thermomix and then most importantly, keep getting more out of it. But that's enough for me today. I hope you enjoyed learning about dough and making beautiful vegetarian options in your Thermomix. I look forward to inspiring you more this week, and I will see you again tomorrow for some more videos. Let me know if you've got questions. Take care. We'll see you then. Bye for now.